This week's cool tool,
copyright.
Hello and welcome to Cool Tool Corner, the show devoted to bringing you the latest educational cool tools.
This week we will be taking a look at a topic that gets commonly misinterpreted in education.
That's right, this week's cool tool is copyright, which for educators is a powerful cool tool if you know how to use it.
Most of this information comes directly from Renee Hobbs' book, Copyright Clarity, which we highly recommend for anyone interested in exploring copyright in education further.
But for now, let's dive in and see if we can answer all the questions about this cool tool.
Copyright, despite its associations with money and protection of rights, is by its very definition to promote creativity, innovation, and the spread of knowledge.
This is stated in Article 1, Section 8 of the U.S. Constitution.
And this law covers all forms of media from the moment of its inception.
Technology makes it easy for users to use, share, copy, and distribute content easily, which is great for educators who want to use content from other people. Unfortunately, owners as a result assert their rights to restrict, limit, and charge for use of this content.
As a result of scare tactics by publishers and content providers, educators become misinformed as to what proper use of outside content actually is. As a result, educators tend to cope in three ways.
See no evil. An educator who doesn't want to learn about copyright because it will change what they do in the classroom.
Close the door, it's okay as long as I keep the content in the classroom.
And the hyper-compliant, the teacher who holds on to misconceptions and asks students to cite every image they use on a PowerPoint presentation.
In 1976, when copyright law was codified by Congress, various lawyers and educational groups created multiple sets of guidelines for how educators should use content in compliance with copyright law. These guidelines were simply just that, guidelines, and they have no legal bearing in a case regarding copyright law.
But because of how these guidelines were worded, many educators gained this distortion of what copyright really is, which again is to promote creativity and the spread of innovation. It's important to reiterate that everything is copyrighted from creation and that creators have a variety of rights that protect their work, but there are exceptions.
Section 107 of copyright law includes a special provision called the Doctrine of Fair Use. This provision states that the fair use of a copyrighted work, including such use by reproduction in copies or phonographic records, or by any other means specified by that section for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, including multiple copies of classroom use, scholarship, or research, is not an infringement of copyright.
This means you can use content whenever you see a benefit in the learning of your students.
As educators, we often find great content in the form of movies, audio, books, and on the web, and we must make a decision as to whether or not to use that content within the realm of education.
As educators, when we find this great content, we have four options.
Pay a license fee,
Use royalty-free or Creative Commons content,
claim fair use,
or finally, just don't use it.
It should be noted that we are barely scratching the surface when it comes to copyright in education.
But we've added some great links in the description to definitions that continue to help your perceptions of copyright.
These include transformative use, the reasonableness standard, and a great music video on fair use.
Also, make sure to check out Renee Hobbs' book on copyright clarity for everything you need to know about copyright in education.
That's it for this week's Cool Tool Corner. Make sure to check the description for our link dump of copyright resources.
Also, if you have any questions, comments, or suggestions for future cool tools, leave a comment below.
Want to be kept up to date with the latest cool tools?
Like this video, follow us on Twitter, and make sure to subscribe to never miss a cool tool.